It's Sunday. It's 8 p.m. European time, and it's the time where the European Ham Radio Show will be in just 3 weeks, I think, 2 weeks. I need to check my calendar for that, but we'll start August 4th, I think, which is the first August in the first Sunday in August, not the first August in Sunday, but first Sunday in August. And welcome, everyone. I know I didn't think about this when I schedule a stream, but I know that it's the Euro 2024 finals in an hour. But don't worry, if I'm not done in an hour, you can always watch. You can always watch this in replay, but you can follow me until we get there because we're going to do something exciting today and something a little bit outside what I am comfortable doing because we're going to build antenna kit today, and not one of those cheap kits that I tend to build, but we're going to build a relatively nice kit. So, and Steve says, watch football on catch up. Yeah, you can do that. I mean, you don't know when the goal is going to be there, so you can just fast forward until the first goal and even make a little bit of the game until then. Anyhow, let's see if I can press the right button. It's kind of strange to stream alone, though. But let's see if I can manage to get it done nonetheless. I'm just trying to keep a little bit of the regular streams going, even though we have summer vacation on the European Ham Radio Show. So what I'm building today is the radiostuff.com NFED halfway with common mode choke kit for 80 through 10. I'm probably going to build this for 80 through or 40 through 10, probably. It's probably going to replace the China balun that I have out in the yard. It's a relatively inexpensive kit, and I got to be open about this, though, totally candid. Chris over at radiostuff.com, he sent me an email and wanted to know if I'd like to build and test this kit, and I figured, why not? I need a new NFED half-wave, and I somewhat like building kits, not necessarily on stream, but I like building kits. It comes in two variants. We have the 100-watt version, which is $29.99. And then we have the 400-watt version, which is $44.99. That's UK pounds. And there's a little bit of a change to my kit, though, because I have RG316 in my kit, but it's still rated for 400 watts, as far as Chris have told me. So check out this kit, radiostuff.com. And I also have the manual up here. So we're going to take a quick look at that before I go on to the workbench here, which is just the corner of my desk. My workbench is the corner of my desk, basically. It's an intermediate kit. You got to drill a little bit. And there's a drill template here on it. So let's move down to the first part of the instructions here, which is the drilling. And we'll move on to the workbench here, I think. And we can flip back. We're on camera. That's the right camera. And just excuse the bad lights and everything because my fancy Chinese studio lights decided to dye both of the lights at the same time. So it's not really well lit, but we'll make it work nonetheless. And I'm just going to move the microphone here. So let me know if the audio is decent here. And I got to make myself a little bit of room here. For those people that have seen my shack, you know, it's pretty compact. But we have the kit here. And Steve's got the NFED half-wave, the portable one, I guess. I got that one as well. I'm really happy with it. European Nugget this episode, perhaps we'll see. And light repair stream next. No, I'm just going to replace them with a new pair of Chinese studio lights. But everything from China takes a little bit of time to arrive. We got this really nice box, and actually we can just measure it. This one is 16 by 8 by, let's see how tall it is. That won't show up for you guys. But I'm thinking 16 by 8 by 6 centimeters. So relatively large, nice box. And there's a reason for that. Nice, sturdy plastic. So let's see what's inside here. And this is the drill template. We're going to get to that in just a little while. We got a bag of bits and bobs, some enameled wire, some RG316, some nuts, some bolts, a capacitor, some zip ties, the usual NFET half-wave stuff. So I went to the kitchen cabinet and borrowed a Tupperware box from my wife just to keep this relatively nicely organized. That should be that bag. Let's just put this to the side and dig further through the box here. We got 4 screws and a rubber seal, I think, for the lid. And cardboard. I don't think we need the cardboard. We got an SO239 here. I'm going to put that up in here as well. We got 2 toroids. And let's take a look at the cheat sheet and see which kind of toroids this is. And I see that Kjetil LB4FH has taken the role as a chat supervisor, and that's really nice. But let's flip over to the manual, or not the manual, but the listing here, and see what kind of toroids these are. Let's flip down here. We got ferrite 240-43. I think that's this one for the 49-1 or 56-1, as I'm going to wind it. Never won a 56-1. Nice beefy toroid here. And then we have ferrite mix 43, and then a bunch of numbers here for the choke here. That should be good. No, wait. This is 240-43, of course. This is the for the choke, and this is the ferrite mix 43 2643251002, and I think this is the Colin M0 OPX approved toroid. I think it is. Let's just put these to the side as well. And my desk is so small that I got to be careful on where to put stuff. We got some foam, and I'm going to move back to the full screen camera now. We got some foam, and Kjetil comments that it looks heavy, and yes, it is. It's not a portable antenna. Then we got a nice PCB here. Seems pretty well laid out. I'm going to turn it the right way for you guys and for me. Seems to be labeled where everything goes. And the thing is, though, this has an integrated choke, so a counterpoise is essential to this belt. So we're going to see if we can get everything going today. So let's see the first part here. Let's move on to the instructions again. And see. So you guys can follow along. That was not the right, this one. Okay, we're going to do some drilling. And then we have the template that I 3D printed earlier today, quick and dirty, with the filament that was on the printer. And you can see on the picture here, that's supposed to be just here on the front of the case. And drill all of the 6 holes. So let's put it in the front of the case, and let's move on to the full screen here again. So we got this one here. I got to find the drill. And I think it says use a 3mm drill, a drill bit. So let's find a 3mm drill bit here. And then, of course, I got a stepper bit here as well. So, and one thing I really want for Christmas is a bigger shack and a bigger workbench. So let's get the... There we go. See, I'm not really sure if this is going to show up well on... The funny thing, though, is that 3mm drill bit is... Good enough for the center hole here, but not good enough for the smaller screw hole. So I might need to go down a size, but let's get the center hole drilled first. We got the center hole drilled. So we can get all the stuff out of it as well. And I am, as you can see, not Bob the Builder. I like my IKEA furniture because that's pre-drilled and everything. And I should use a red flag. That's more precise. I'm just going to move to a 2mm drill bit instead. Just see that I line that up with the hole, because that's going to add to a whole bunch of more troubles if I don't. Let's take the 3mm out. We're going to need that on the other end nonetheless. And go down to a 2mm drill bit here. And see if we can drill the other holes here. And the 6th hole here is, as far as I've understood, for drainage. There we go. And Labcat says Norwegian Micro X to the rescue. I probably, that's what the red flag is. It's an axe, of course. So we've drilled these holes here. And Steve says that that drill template is going to be useful for other projects. Yes, it's on Thingiverse though, so you can find it there. Let's see the next one. Then we're going to put the one on the other side and drill a 3mm hole there. So I'm not done with the drill yet. So let's see. And please do keep up talking in the chat. I might not catch up as fast as usual today, but I'll be there. And besides that, I do have super chats and memberships available if you'd like that. There we go. Let's just put the instructions up here, though, so you can follow along with me and tell me when I'm doing something wrong. Put the template on its side and drill along one side of the enclosure. Take note of where the counterpoise solder pad is on the PCB and drill holes in the middle of the case where you want the counterpoise. Okay, I should be able to do that. Let's find the PCB though and put that in here. We're going to do it this way. So we got the PCB and put it on the right way here. So PCB fits here. And in the pictures later on in the manual, the counterpoise is shown a little behind where the counterpoise lug is here. So I'm guessing about here. And not sure I'm going to need the template, but okay, let's use the template though, in order to get it nice and good. Let's actually, I'm going to take a look down the instructions here and see the finished picture here with the counterpoise log, just so I am sure I got it somewhere in the right place. There's a lot of pictures here. Yeah, it's a little bit behind. It's almost parallel to the screw here, which should put it about where I have the template now. So let's go ahead and go full screen again. That was the wrong button. Because somehow you can't control StreamYard with your Stream Deck. Let's go ahead, and I want it actually a little bit more up. And if I'm not in the right place, I can always drill another hole and reseal this one. There we go. Put the drill down for a little bit. I have no room on my desk for the drill, so I need to put that on the floor. Let's go back to the instructions here. I'm just going to page up here until I find where we were. And then we're going to continue here. And then we got to use the step drill to enlarge the hole in the center here. Well, let's check the stepper drill here. We should probably have a little bit of a bigger hole here, but we should be good. Either that or a smaller stepper bit. Let's go ahead, see what we can get done. And before I go too deep, I'm going to find the SO here and have it ready. And I can see that we need a little bit more room. Could have probably measured the SO and figure out how many millimeters I need. But it's I gotta say, this little plastic box is really tough. Either that or my stepper bit is not really that good. $16.7 millimeters, it says here. Let's see if this has any markings. Yep, we're gonna go a little bit more. Do one more and then check. Since all of my tools are cheap, I don't trust. I don't trust it. Let's see if that is enough. Yeah, that was actually enough and a little bit more. The kit did not come with the step drill, Kjetil. The step drill was bought at some hardware discount store. I can't really remember where. So let's find the hardware for the SO here. And I'm guessing we're going to have some small screws and some small nuts here. And I am somewhat starting to regret building this live on stream, but let's go ahead and do it. I am not supposed to have the mount plate on the inside yet. You are absolutely correct on that. That is supposed to be on the outside according to the picture. So then I made it a little bit too big, but nonetheless, let's make it work for us. I am no expert builder, and I do this for you guys to laugh at me, and I actually need to expand the holes for the screw holes here as well a little bit. And she says some silicone can fix that. Silicone can fix pretty much anything. Or my favorite, gaffer's tape. Let's go ahead and expand these holes. It can always be resealed, but do remember, guys, if you bought this kit and watch my stream, don't necessarily take everything I do as facts. Do fact check me at one point or another. Let's see, we have 1, 2, and I had the 4th screw here earlier, 2, and that's there, 3, and 4. Let's just check that I'm able to solder this after the fact. And Joachim LB4L says it's very good that I do this now so he can avoid my mistakes. And that's pretty reasonable said. And I see that one of the holes here is a little bit off. Let's see if we can fix that, or I need to just expand it a little bit. I'm hoping that I don't need to expand it. It looks like I need to do that. So let's take everything off and expand one of the holes a little bit. And just do it gently for starters. And see. And I'm sorry if I'm outside the camera, but sometimes I just need to look a little bit at what I'm doing as well. And we managed to force that in there. So let's find the nuts. And I know it's not these large nuts. And I can't really see any smaller nuts in here. Okay, I seem to be missing some nuts here. If I only found the screws in the first place. So I'll be back in a short little moment here. Try not to lose all the zip ties here as well. Just give me 1 second. I just need to find the right size of nuts here in my little kit. I'm guessing these are M3s. So lesson learned at the moment. Double check the parts before you start building. Now I'm going to try to do this somewhat while it's visible on stream. And get the M3 nuts in here. And I was smart. I started heating the solder iron before starting the stream in case I needed to solder quickly. It does not seem like I needed to solder quickly here. Tell me, guys, are you enjoying this? Do you like watching this? And I see your comment, Bob, and I probably will at some point. But right now I am just having a little bit of a hard time putting these on. And also, there is going to be another set of nuts on the outside here. Let's see if I need a pair of pliers or if my middle-aged, low dexterity hands can manage to get these on. Got 3 out of 4. Since Meatloaf thinks 2 out of 3 ain't bad, I guess 3 out of 4 ain't bad either. Or Mr. Loaf, as a Norwegian talk show host once called him. Let's find the screwdriver here and just see if I can finger tighten this a little bit. I'm not going to tighten them too hard now in case I do a mistake and I need to open them. Perhaps the mistake is putting the counterpoise lug in the wrong place. There we go. Okay, we were this far. Let's see what the next point is here. And I'm just going to move over here for a little while. That's where I put the drill. Someone told me it's important to hydrate. Let's get the instructions back on. That's the case drilled, it says. Good. Then we'll put the case to some side here. As of the moment, now it's building the transformer. And he uses a 56-to-1 in the example. So I'm seriously gonna do the same thing. Matthew loves watching antenna builds and he loves building antennas. That's good. And Joachim says, hydrate and remember sunscreen. Yep. So we're going to wind this as 56-to-1. And let's just double check here. That's 2 on the primary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 on the secondary. And this is the point, guys. If I'm wrong here, this is the point to correct me. Absolutely. Seriously, this is the point to correct me. I am really bad at winding toroids, so I might need some help from one of you guys while doing this. Let's go back to the workbench screen. And I guess this is time for the... Put everything away. This is time for the enameled wire. Let's just unwind this. And then it's the part of twisting the wire, and I always have a seriously hard time doing that. And then, of course, it's also the question. I'm going to do this a little bit off screen because I need some room to straighten out this magnet wire here. And I always have a hard time winding wire, and especially the twisting part. And as far as I've understood it, it's a relatively good portion of the wire that's got to be twisted back. Like, this is some really nice thick wire. I think like here should be good. Let's see if we can start twisting this. See if I can use the screwdriver to my advantage here. See if that works. Oh, that works like a charm, actually. And Steve says he enjoys watching these builds. And I can twist this with my drill as well, but as bad as I am with it, I'm not going to trust power tools to help me doing this. Should probably have a couple of more turns here. This is actually the nicest looking twists that I've ever done. Considering that I've only made 3 or 4 49-to-1s, that should probably say something. Just going to unwind one turn here. Like this. And let's find the toroid here. So let's see. Should be something like this. Let's hope I twist this the right way. Let's see. That should be. Let's see if I can get this through and without getting slack in the wire here. That's where I really have a hard time. And let's see, this is not looking great. Let's put it that way. That should be 2 turns, shouldn't it? And it's time for the rest of the wire. Those are 2 not very pretty turns. And it's a little bit of a challenge doing this like this, though, because on stream, because I cannot say the usual amount of bad words and throw everything away in anger and start on later on. I need to commit to this. I don't think this was the smartest way of doing it, trying to push the wire through this really small toroid. Let's see. But I watched Coffee and Ham radios yesterday, and they said that pushing the wire through with your thumb was the easiest way to not get it. And I'm thinking this is supposed to be on the other side of this. And see how many turns do I need before crossing over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and crossing on the 7th. So I won. And I'm sorry if I do this a little bit out of frame, but it's kind of hard to stay in frame with this. That's 2. Let's just check with the PCB here, though. I am good with the PCB. I've twisted this the right way. That is good. That's 3. One, 2, 3, and I said cross on the 7th one, so I got a couple of more. I'm going to double check that later on. Four. And I guess these need to be a little bit tighter. See if we can move them tighter just right now instead of having to mess with that later on. I have 5, and I said I'm just going to double check here. Tobias, I'm trying for 56 to 1. 56 to 1. And yes, 45. I know that Chuck used a totally different toroid, but that's so. And I am just going to use the picture in the manual for this. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to cross over. It should bring us over here. Then on that side, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the manual actually states wrap to your own liking on this. Let's see if this is to my liking or not. And how many did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turns. I think should be right. And this is the part where it's hard to push it through since I got the crossover in here. So I'm guessing that part is off the books for now. See if I can do this without kinking too much. It's 3. I am so bad at this, but I hope this gives you some courage, though, because if I can manage to do it, other people can do it as well. Minus 4. Minus 5. I think I am somehow. Nope. I need to redo this one. I think perhaps. Yep. I need to undo a couple of these because I've crossed them over. Let's wrap it. Let's see. Then we're back at 2. See if we can make this right, though. And Tobias, thank you for mentioning that you'd skip the crossover. A little bit too late. 3. 4. And it's still better, I would think, than a lot of the stuff coming out of China. Let's just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one more turn. That is good because there's not room for another turn here. There we go. And let's just turn it around. See that we're not crossing at any parts here. We're not. So let's consult the manual now and see what it says. You need to trim the wires. Yep. Let's go ahead and do that. And my trusty Ender 3D printer pliers, or cutters, they failed today. And according to 45, that looks good. So I trust 45. And let's see here. Let's go back to the manual here. Put it on top of the PCB. You need to trim the wires going through the PCB. Do it now. You need about 2 to 3 millimeters of clearly visible enameled wire on the reverse side of the PCB. Let's see. I need to trim a little bit here as well. In order to get that, I'm going to trim it more later on, but let's see here. That should be somewhat good. Let's bring it up to full screen again. And William, as witty as ever, looks like a wound toroid. And we can trim off a little bit here. I can see that already. I don't know where that ended up, but probably the same place as the rest of the Ender 3D printed side cutters. See if I can just put this here. Let's consult the manual again. It's a good time to file off the wire. So I guess we can cut off a little bit more here. And I have a new favorite tool for removing enamel. I'm going to bring it up to full screen. It does not say to solder this yet, though. And William, no, you don't need to chip off the toroid like in the picture. It actually says so in the manual. So I have a new favorite tool for clearing off enamel. If you have a female in the household, a nail file. Nail file is a terrific tool for doing this. It wears down pretty fast, though. It's almost like it's not made for this. And I might need a new nail file soon for this. Thing about using a nail file, though, it's pretty gentle on the enamel, so you don't damage the wire. The bad thing about a nail file is that if it's like this one, it's almost worn out. And my natural instinct now is to solder the toroid, but let's consult the manual because I've built enough IKEA furniture to know that you should follow the instructions, and it does not say to solder it right now. So we're not going to do that at the moment then. We're going to put the toroid to the side. And then it's the common mode choke. So I guess we're going to need the coax then. And we're going to need that one. And 45 auto, yeah, the prices are amazing. I have the portable and fed half wave, and that is that. I don't see how Chris can manage to sell these kits at the price he does. Let's see. Parts you need are 4 zip ties. 1, 2, 3, 4. And strangely, no zip ties for the... Yeah, I got 2 more zip ties here. Let's see here. Then attach one end. I'm going to uncoil this RG316 here. Let's attach one end here. Not sure how much we're going to need, but we got plenty of coax. And we get really small zip ties. And I can see on the picture, Chris is actually using 2 zip ties here. I can't see why I should need 2 zip ties for this. Let's consult the manual again. Let's see here. And then let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Crossover. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 total. So Let's go ahead and start twisting. And I can see why you replace the RG58 with 316 here. It's a tad bit easier to work with. That's 3 turns. Because as far as I've learned, every time you go across the center, it's 1 turn. And he also states that the important bit is that you end up on the opposite side of where you started. 4 turns. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Steve, you're absolutely correct. The number of turns does not matter, but I'm still gonna make it so it's nice. But yes, the more the merrier for an RF choke. I think I'm gonna go across here. See, I'm in turns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going 3 on the 6th. But I am no typical ham. I do not come from a science or electronics background. So everything I know about electronics, I've learned through this hobby. And I guess that's different from, I guess, a lot of you other people that have a science and technology background. My background is in languages and social sciences, and that's what I've done for school. I've been working at hotels and restaurants for almost my entire professional career, except for a couple of years as a professional sound engineer. And let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 turns. 12 turns should be good. I think that's what is said in the manual as well. 12 turns. And Darren says that electronics is like magic. And there's nothing magical about it. You probably heard me say that. And if you haven't, there's a reason for that catchphrase. Let's see if I can get this secured somehow. And luckily for an RF choke, it doesn't matter how nice or ugly it looks, because this one is not the, let's say it's not the prettiest RF choke I've seen, but it should be more than good enough for the job. So let's see, we're at the step where it says final assembly. So let's consult the manual again. And I'm just going to take a sip of this beautiful French beverage that Foxtrot 4 JSU brought me last week. So let's consult the manual here. Final step. I would suggest you solder the transformer and the capacitor in place, then secure the transformer with the provided cable ties. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I got 4 cable ties in total here. Let's start with that. Let's switch out the choke and find the transformer again. And I'm going to switch to the full screen for you guys. And 45, I know exactly that. I have, let's see, 3 semesters of anthropology in college. So exactly 45. I know what you're saying. then again, we could probably discuss some things that other hams won't be able to discuss. I am not sure if I should zip tie this or solder it first. Let's go with solder it first because solder is... No, wait, let's go with zip tying it first. Let's see if we can... And there's barely enough room for the zip ties here. Or tie wraps, as you Brits call them. See if we can get it to end up on the right side of the board here. The magic of doing kits. When stuff barely fits. That's one zip tie. So we can get the other one through. The beautiful thing about this is as long as it works, it's going to sit in an enclosed case screwed onto my garage wall, so no one's going to notice the insides. And I know it's the insides that matter, but in this case, it's the functionality that matters. So, and luckily, my solder iron is hot. John says, imagine a non-ham stumbling onto the stream wondering if it's building a perpetual energy device. Well, first of all, though, I don't think the YouTube algorithm works in that way, unfortunately. That's why none of us ham tubers are rich. And I'm actually going to turn up the temperature here. (350 degrees). I just put some solder on the iron and clean it off and heat the pad here. And this takes some heat, actually. Let's see if we can do it another way. I need to reposition everything and see. Shouldn't seriously need more than 350 degrees on my iron, though. I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit more. Get a little bit of solder on for heat transfer. We're starting to get somewhere now. Nice. That was just my kid wanting to know if I wanted some ice cream, and not at the moment. Let's put it that way. And speaking about hams and ham tubers not getting rich, super chats and memberships are available and greatly appreciated. That one was a lot quicker and easier to solder. Let's see if we can get some solder on the other side here as well now. We got a little bit of a solder blob, but that's good. And according to Tobias, it would be better to give Dad an ice cream. Let's check out the manual here, though. Transformer and capacitor in place. So let's find the capacitor. That should be easier to solder on. And I got to say, I'm happy that the European Ham Radio Show streams do not run for this long. I got to say, though, Chris has done a good job with laying out the PCB here. Everything fits really, really good. Let's figure out where I put my solder. And John, K6RXD. I'm reading the screen as a middle-aged man would do from afar. It's a fantastic choice of kit. It is. And it's thanks to Chris over at radiostuff.com that sent me an email and wanted to know if I'd like to try out and review this kit. And since I already needed to replace my unfed half-wave transformer, that was actually pretty good timing. There we go. Perhaps reflow a little bit here as well. Let's see. I'm usually really good at making solder bridges, so I just got to double check this. I think we're good though. Trim off these a little bit. And I would strongly advise the rest of my family to actually wear socks and shoes in the hallway here. Let's see. Trim off the capacitor legs a little bit as well. And did I say hallway? Of course, I meant shack and studio. What it is, it depends on which member of the family you ask. So let's check the manual again. Strip out some of the outer insulation, trim the length of the braid, create a Y in the coax. Okay. Even I should be able to do that. Let's trim off these zip ties a little bit, though. And from the number of Snapchat messages I get, I guess that the Euro 2024 final has started. And 45. You know, a ham is building a kit when his family has to wear eye protection. Absolutely. Actually, would be happier if these were somewhat of the same. Let's trim off some coax here first. So then I'm going to get a knife and go to full screen here. And the perfect camouflage color is, of course, bright orange. Bright orange camouflage is the definitively best camouflage because you're able to find it when you lost it. Let's just see how much or how tight I need to make it, though. It's going to be pretty tight, actually. But I don't really want to trim off too much either. I've learned by experience that it's much better to be gentle and take your time when removing the shield from the coax. Also, that some of the best cable stripping tools you have are actually your teeth. Let's see if we can get this debraided a little bit. This is some nice coax, actually. Nice thick braid. Which then again makes it harder to strip away and make a Y out of. I don't need much of it. See if I can rough it just enough. See here. See, and then I made that the wrong way around. See if we can make this fit somehow. Without shorting out the capacitor, which is the last thing I want to do here. It looks like I'm a bit long on the coax. That's not exactly where I'd like to be right now, since I've started twisting it. Let's see if we can just force it back here. I seriously don't want to short out the capacitor here. Which it looks like I'm going to do that at some point. Looks actually pretty good here. And then I'm sure some hot glue can actually fix this if needed. Let's see if we can get some more of the braid inside the hole here. This was finicky, to put it mildly. Either it's finicky or it's just my seriously bad skills of doing this. And looks like my chat moderator, Shetil, is signing off for the evening. So it's up to me to monitor and watch the chat while building now. And I am starting to think that I might be at a point where it would be better to leave this here now and do the rest tomorrow or another day. I need something to just push the braid through here. Just enough so I can Oh, Steve, I know there's going to be ice cream in the freezer when I'm done, so I'm not worried about that. Because one of the grocery store chains here had a sale on ice cream earlier this week. So moderation is not a word that I know too well. Okay, let's see. At least I have the braid there, but I'd love to get the center in here as well. And perhaps this would be easier if I did one side at the time, though. I'm just worried that I won't make it fit if I do that. Let's try that nonetheless, though. Let's do the centerpiece first, which slipped out the moment I tried. Figure out a way to get the center to stick through here. And I'm thinking the moment I've secured this, I might make a second episode out of this build. Now let's see if we can force the braid through. I think we're getting somewhere there. I'm thinking let's just solder the braid to the top here. That did not work. Period. That did somehow work, though. I managed to do it. Let's see what it says in the manual, though. Ensure the solder flows to both sides of the PCB. It does. Now let's zip tie this in place before. And I'm not really sure how I should zip tie this. But I'm thinking the large holes here are good. And William found your Pine 64 soldering iron. Tell me more, William, because I've been looking at those. Are those as nice as they look? Okay, fixing it like this does not work. I'm guessing, though, I could do it like this. And I'm so sorry. Let me know if I'm not in frame with what I'm doing. The thing is, though, if I can complete this successfully, anyone can. Let's find the last zip tie here. I actually got a couple more. Let's find this one and do the same with this one. In through this hole, out through this hole. There we go. We've secured the choke. We got the transformer here. We're getting somewhere with the build. So let's go ahead and take a look at the manual here. And then we're going to decide if I'm going to continue this at another point. And now it's time to solder the coax in place and the antenna connections. Let's find the case here that we drilled so nicely more than an hour ago, hour and a half ago, actually. And I'm just now, for the sake of it, going to put the wire for the antenna just out the hole so we can know approximately where to have it. And it says, let's see here in the manual, cut it just after the enclosure. Let's go ahead and do that. That's done. Strip the outer insulation from coax, make it a T, and then fit it like that. Okay. That seems finicky enough. Let's go ahead and do that as well. Now we need actually a strip it quite a bit off here. And again, I should say this, I can't say that too many times. Don't underestimate the power of your teeth as cable stripping tools. This is not legal nor dental advice, though. That was one sticky outer insulation on a coax. There we go. And now I should probably see if I can pluck this from each other in a nice and good manner. Full screen, Steve. So sorry about that. So sorry about that. You didn't miss much, though. You missed me using my teeth to just pluck the coax apart. I really wish there was an easier way of just getting the braid of the coax to deassemble. And there probably is. There are probably tools that do this as well. I don't know about them, though, but perhaps you guys do and can tell me about them. I think I'm going to need a little bit more. I want to make this TS big as possible. Okay, we got something here. Let's try to divide these two bits among each other. But I'm not going to solder these yet, though. Still need to have everything assembled on the board and the box before getting everything done. A T should do the trick. for sure better than the Y on the other end. And I'm just going to tin the braid here. Before I do that, I am for sure gonna just twist it good enough. Let's see if I can tin the braid here. Let's see, and I actually forgot to take off these two as well. Let's see. I'm going to consult the manual again because this can be an IKEA moment pretty fast. Actually says to solder here first. Then I need to solder the connection from solder the connection to the counterpoise actually. Okay, I'm going to do a couple of things here. And thanks, John, for subscribing. Go ahead and enjoy your Sunday afternoon, and I'll see you later on. I have about 300 videos in my back catalog, so you should be able to find something there. And then don't forget the European Ham Radio Show. We start the first Sunday in August and stream every Sunday at this time. Or actually, we would be done at this time, but never mind. I'm going to check that I have enough room for the bolts for the antenna and the counterpoise, and if not, drill them up. I do not. I need bigger. I need to find the drill wherever it went and make bigger holes. And Mike, yeah, it's Morton 1 and Fed half wave 0. And could anyone please just let me know how the football game is going? I would really like to know how that's going. And I think there's more British people here than Spanish people. Is football coming home? And I'm going to start just drill them up a little bit. Actually, I think let's do this scientifically and go back to full screen. Of course, sorry guys. I'm going to do this real scientifically and just measure the drill bit and the screw, and that looks approximately the same size. And Darren says, who's playing? And that's Spain and England. If it was Norway, I wouldn't be streaming. Let's see if I need to go one up on size or if I'm there. I'm not going to do the same mistakes as I have done. I need to go one louder. And William, I don't forget the Scottish. The Scots were my favorites for the Euro 2024, but unfortunately, it went as I suspected. So if this is big enough, That's the exact right size. And I see that I got some bits and bobs here, though, that will make this a whole lot easier now. So, where do I start in the final assembly here? Do I start with the coax or do I start with the counterpoise? Bits and bob and solder inside the case, which shouldn't be impossible. So let's see here, because I got some nice bits to put on the screws here, though. That is not shown in the manual. So yes, those came in place of the M3 nuts. Let's see if I can start to make the final assembly now. I'm going to need some new M3 nuts. At least 2 of those. Then I'm going to put, I think I'm actually going to do this a smart way around. I think I'm going to solder these, or if I'm not going to solder them, at least I'm going to somehow anyhow, they slide in here pretty good. And if you guys are wondering if I recommend doing this kit live on YouTube, I don't really do that because I see that my concentration is starting to slip a little bit now, because there are a couple of things to concentrate on here. And it's not like I can take any breaks doing this. So I got one of these bitsy bobsy here. Let's put the other one on. If I can get it up here. That is the dingus. I'm also going to bend this a little bit like I did with the other one. Hopefully that is going to make it easier. See? And I'm sorry for not being too chatty while doing this, because this is putting my dexterity to the test. Let's see now if I can get all the bits and bobs to semi-fit here. This is for sure tight. And I'm going to get one of my favorite tools out here now, because you're no proper ham without one of these. And you for sure is no proper stage worker with one of those, even though I'm changing career paths coming August 1st. And you might hear my family in the background. Don't worry, it's just a Sunday night. Let's see if I can manage to get this part soldered on. See if I do twist them a little bit. That did not go the way I wanted. So if I twisted this way, and if I twisted this way, and if I was able to tighten that, yes, Stephen, axe would probably be easier, at least according to some of the members of the European Ham Radio Show. Proper tools would probably also help a whole bunch. Let's first of all see if I can get this soldered on, and then the center connector here is going to be quite the challenging part. I need to redo this. I'm thinking solder the center lead first, and then perhaps be lucky. I did leave a little bit too much coax here, though, and that is gonna probably be hurting me more than it's helping me. So let's figure out how to do this, guys. I'm at a point where I am seriously considering continuing this at a later point in my ham radio career. If I could manage to fit the soldering iron in there now, that would probably be good. And then find some solder. Where did I put my solder? And just, that was not the right way of doing this. Let's try it once more. Soldering. Get some solder in here. And I think we're good there. Now it's just fitting these other bits here. Yeah, I could have trimmed the center, Steve. It's a little bit too late for that now, though. But that is probably the best suggestion I've seen in a little while. Let's see if we can tighten these bolts. And I'm probably a little bit out of frame now. Sorry about that. But then again, if I can do it, you can do it. Let's see if I can fit this through here now. Should probably have this on the other side. Also, guys, do invest in the right tools. That will help you in the long run. Leatherman is not always the right tool to use. And I won't be able to fit it through the way it is now. So we need to loosen it a little bit. We need to point it downwards.
Nei, jeg mente ikke sånn.
And you know what, guys? When I'm finished here, I am going to call it good for tonight. And I'll schedule a stream for sometime later the coming week. Because it's something about knowing when to quit. And this is probably as good a time as any to realize that it's about time to quit. But I got one of them on. There we go. We actually managed to make this fit. It's not beautiful, but it does fit. And if I knew where I had my multimeter, we could have checked for continuity. Hang on, guys. Just let me check the shelf over here. And I must have used my multimeter for some project, some other place in the house. So I can't see it right now, which means that I'm not going to check for continuity here, but let's just assume that we have good continuity through the RF choke here. And Bob is back just in time. Yes, Bob, would you by any chance know where I put my multimeter? I got one more place to check. I'm back. Yes, I found it. It was in the hallway because I was working on my daughter's moped the other day. Let's see if we can put it so you can see it. Let's first check out the... And this should, of course, be shorted now since it's going through the 49-1. So there's actually no way of checking for continuity or the lack thereof at the moment. And on that note, let's see how much I got left though, because there's not much left at this time. I need to fix the counterpoise connection down here. I need to fix the board to the case, which I'm probably going to do before I fix the counterpoise connection. And I need to get the, I'm going to do, this is the IKEA way of doing things. I made a mistake, a little bit one, but let's see, because I did not trim off the end here or file off the end here. Just that there's not much left, even though Andy says take a break, and I appreciate that, Andy. But there's not that much left. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to find the little bit of a larger dingus. That's this dingus, which should fit into the bolt right here. Now I'm going to solder this on. And I'm guessing at this point, I'm going to put this on the other side of the desk. It's halftime and the football match 1-1 for those who are interested. And yes, Bob, I know that you aren't interested. No need to ask if this is football or whatever it is. It is football. It's the final of the European, I was going to say the European Ham Radio Show. It's the final of the Euro 2024. We got that soldered on. And we're going to take a washer here. And now, let's see, we're so lucky that we're able to get this to fit. And it does not look like we're so lucky at the moment. I should probably have cut this wire a little bit shorter. Then again, let's just bend it in place. There we go. So we get the bolt through. Starting to get a tight fit here now. If it wasn't at the beginning. But I am tremendously happy that I did not fix the board to the bottom of the box, because there is a bit of wiggle room needed here now. Oh, come on. Seriously, though, how hard can it be? Might be easier if I'm not trying to put it in frame at the same time, though. We're getting somewhere. Would you look at that? We made it work. Needlos pliers. Yes, Bob, you missed the part where I was talking about having the right tools for the job. And I guess I could actually take a look in my daughter's toolbox for this, because she is going to start studying to become an auto mechanic. So she actually has better tools than I have. The thing is, though, if she has good tools, I'm forced to put them in place just right away when I borrow them. So I don't have where's my multimeter kind of moments. There we go. That's that one. And now it's time for the counterpoise. For that, we're going to need, and this is probably too long, but let's start with that and see. We're going to need a piece of going from here to there. Oh, that is way long. Probably just going to need half of that. If not, I have plenty of spare on this one. So let's file them off. And thank you guys for sticking on this long and watching. And I got to remember to ask the female part of the household for another set of, or another nail file for my next build here. And he says, as long as she can use a computer, she can fix a car. And I guess we're getting to that part. You still need to do a little bit of mechanical stuff on a car, though. Well, let's see here. Let's solder on one of the dinguses first. And speaking about right tools, Bob, according to Steve, right tools for Norwegian is Nax. I'm sure Kjetil would approve of that statement. Let's put a little bit of tension on that. And get the camera to focus here, here. Not there. Come on. There we go. And guys, is it solder or solder? Asking for a friend here. It turned out to be a little bit downhill for his solder job. I just soldered more than good enough. So it sticks. What we actually can do with a multimeter, though, we can check for continuity on this one. And I see that the chat agrees that it's solder. And I guess you mean solder, though. Being British and all. Let's see. Let's see if we can jiggle and make this fit somehow. And not lose it on the floor. Of course, I need a lot less of that. Let's just see how much less of this we need. It's seriously a tight fit with these screws. I think we can figure out a way for this nonetheless. And William says, bring back the leaded solder. Exactly. I have leaded solder. Wouldn't use anything else. So I bought 800 grams of it when I had the chance to do it. And let's see here. I got a picture from Bob here. I'm just going to take a look at that. Bob sent me an email link to, did you order me Neil Nose pliers there, Bob? I mean, that's better than a super chat or a membership, seriously. And I think before I'm going to fit this, though, I'm going to screw the board in so the board is in the right place when I try to fit this. Let's find the Phillips head for the screwdriver. And Bob ordered me some Neil Nose pliers. Thank you, Bob. Christmas came early this year. And Bob, just out of curiosity, did you notice that I did a soda this week? Soda with an S. Like the Summits on the Air type soda. Magnetic screwdrivers would probably be really good now as well. I'm guessing, though, as long as I get one of these pieces fitted correctly. But there's something about having a microphone here, and William says now queue more deliveries from other people. I was going to say only Bob has my address, but that's not true, though, William, because you sent me a QSL card here the other day. Thank you for that. And from the world's oldest post office, I think it was. And I'm starting to think that these are not the best kind of screws for this job. Then again, it's the screws that I have at the moment. Should use some self-drilling screws, and we should be right on much easier, I think. there we go. And that is not the best screwdriver for the job. Let's see, where do I have my other? And also, when you get a set of screwdrivers from AliExpress, don't expect the best quality. This is not the best quality. Let me check my toolbox here. And I've just been doing what any self-loathing man would do. I've been cleaning up in my tools, or more correctly, moving everything to the basement in boxes with no system provided. So I should just see if I can find something that would barely fit here. And so I don't have to bother you guys while I look for a Phillips screwdriver. You know what? Let's call it a night, and I'll go into the basement and see if I can find a Phillips screwdriver instead. We are pretty much done with the kit now. Not a lot of finicky stuff left. Just tightening a couple of screws and we should be good. So hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to finish up and then I'm going to do another video on the kit when it's all done and all built. Hope you enjoyed this. I sure did for about an hour and a half. 2 hours streaming is a long time. I just got to be honest about that. But hopefully this antenna will work. I'm going to keep working on it tomorrow and do a summary video on it when it's done, and then put it up and try it. And I'm probably going to do a live stream using this antenna when it's done. So thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button. Leave a comment down below if you're watching the rerun and you actually watch this far. And as I've said a couple of times, I got memberships, super chats, whatever chats. That's not necessarily, if you can afford it, that's good. If you can't, leave me a like instead. So thank you guys, and see you down the bands, and see you in my next video. 7-3 guys.